Good morning, children. I welcome you all to digital classes of Lalbagh College. This lecture is for my students of class 12. We are in the middle of a lesson, a short story by R.K. Narayanan, An Astrologer's Day. And today we will see what happens next in the story, as the story is all full of suspense and thrill, and we need to know and we need to find out what is happening next in the story. So he involves himself in a conversation with a complete stranger. The astrologer was almost about to bundle up and move because it was a time for him to go home. But then he sees somebody standing right in front of him, and he suspects him to be a client. And he begins his daily whatever attitude we can say, and he tries to convince the person in getting involved with the conversation with the astrologer so as he can earn some money by the time he's leaving. But before that, children, I just want to tell you that this story, which is written by R.K. Narayanan, we see that there are certain significant features that have been used by R.K. Narayanan, since R.K. Narayanan consistently uses the fictional city of Malgudi, that this story too takes place in Malgudi. In any event, one gets the impression of somewhat backward city which still retains a measure of its rural character. The reference to municipal lighting or is one of the strategies employed by the author to suggest a sense of the place. In addition, the reference to other vendors who sell a variety of goods give a sense of bustling community in which the astrologer operates. Now here, when we see that there is a person in front of him, and he is treating him like a client, and he begins with the same attitude and tries to comment in the way he used to talk. Only he realizes after some time that this client is unusually aggressive and mean spirited, because he's saying that if you do not answer me correctly, if you do not give me the correct answers, and if you do not satisfy me by your answers, then I'm going to disgorge you of whatever money you have earned. You will have to return my money, as well as whatever you have earned in the day, that also you will have to hand over me. So he realizes that he has involved himself with the wrong person. Now here also we see that the stranger, he lights his cheroot, and in the dim light of the match stick that had been used by the stranger, he gets a glimpse of the face of this person who is the stranger, and he understands to himself that he has made a mistake, and he tries to run away. And the astrologer feels very uncomfortable after seeing his face, and he says, here, take your Anna back. I'm not used to of such challenges, and it is late for me today. He made preparations to bundle up. The other held his wrist and said, you can't get out of it now, because he's saying a challenge is a challenge. You asked me to come and get involved into all this. Now you have to answer all my questions. So he had no other choices left. So he's saying, the astrologer proceeded with his throat drying up, there is a woman. And this is what he used to do, because he had been habituated of befooling people, of trying to trick them and earn money out of his wit and his intelligence. He tried the same tactic for this person also, but then he realizes that that is not going to work. So what he does here, let's see. Stop, said the other. Immediately, the moment he says there's a woman, he says, just stop and answer my questions, what I am asking you. Do not say anything more than that. What is he saying? I don't want all that. Shall I succeed? His first question is the question that is put up by the stranger. That first question is, shall I succeed in my present search or not? Answer this and go. Otherwise, what is he saying? The person whom we have just now mentioned, that he is a very, very aggressive and mean-spirited person, he is saying, otherwise I will not let you go until you disgorge all your coins, all the money that you've earned, that you give back to me. And he is now left with nothing else to do. He has no options. The astrologer muttered a few incantations and replied, "All right, I will speak, but you will give me a rupee if what I say is convincing. Otherwise, I will not open my mouth and you can do whatever you feel like." Because now he thinks that he is trapped, so he has to deal this person somehow so that he can save his life. So he wants to know what happens now. The astrologer, after proving himself that he is knowledgeable, he is making some kind of prayers and some chantings, and after making some kind of incantations, he's saying, "A knife has passed through you once," said the astrologer. And now the person, the stranger, feels very interested and he gets very excited, and immediately he bare opens his chest, he opens the buttons of his shirt and he shows his bare chest, and there is a big huge scar of a knife. What else? "And then you were pushed into a well nearby in the field. You were left for dead." That is, somebody has once attacked you and you were left to die in the fields, and this is what I can see about you. "I should have been dead if some passerby had not chanced to peep into the well." What is he saying? Yes, definitely I would have died if some person who was just passing by had not seen me and had not taken heed of me and had not saved my life. So now he is equally interested and he is answering him back in the next world. Now, "I should have been dead if somebody had not given heed to me." So he's saying he's overwhelmed by enthusiasm. He's excited and he wants to know, because he has come now to this astrologer after he interviewed him and he brought him into this conversation. So he's saying, fine, now he's very enthusiastic, and his only question is that I am here on a quest, I'm finding somebody, I'm in search of somebody. Shall I find that person or will I not? So he's saying, when shall I get at him? He asked, clenching his fist. Now he's already very aggressive, and that anger, that rage that is inside this person can be seen by his body language. He's clenching his fist and he's just ready to punch that person if he finds him, or maybe kill him as soon as he sees the person with whom he wants to avenge his whatever fight or whatever bad experience he had, and he was left to be dead. So he's saying, I should have been dead, and if somebody had not given heed. And when shall I get him? He asked. In the next world. This was the answer of the astrologer. Now, as we have read in the beginning, we see, and the author has also very nicely given an explanation to us, that he had out of practice and shrewd guesswork, he had the idea of the pressing problems of life. Now, when he has seen this astrologer, when he had seen the face of this stranger, he also comes to know the reality about this person, that he is very aggressive, he is a very mean-spirited person, and he is at the same time very violent in his behavior. He can harm him also. So he thinks to himself that he has to satisfy this person in order to get rid of him and in order to move back safely to his home. So what he's saying, when the stranger is asking a question, shall I get him, he's saying you can get him only in the next world, because now that person is not alive, so you are not going to find him. I think this much of explanation will be enough for today, children, and we are almost heading towards the end of the lesson. Now, what I want you all to do is, you can just go through the lesson once again and connect all my parts that I have given you regarding this lesson. See those videos and read the lesson, and you will, I think, understand, because I have given enough of explanations regarding these paragraphs. So we wind up today here, that towards the end of the lesson we are coming to know that at least he was able to satisfy him by giving this answer, that you cannot find him anymore. So we will soon meet in my next lecture. Up till then, goodbye, children.